Peace, everybody, back with another video. This is Michael Avenatti, moved to different jail after hitting breaking point. On February 14th, disgraced lawyer Michael Avenatti was found guilty on all charges of trying to bilk $23.5 million for Nike and now faces up to 42 years in prison. But there's one thing for him to be happy about. He's finally been moved out of the downtown Manhattan jail cell he despises. So yeah, on February 14th, Michael Avenatti was found guilty on all charges of him trying to extort $23.5 million from Nike. And now he faces up to 42 years in prison. But he's been moved from the downtown Manhattan jail cell he despises. The attorney who represented porn star Stormy Daniels in a failed 2018 suit against Donald Trump was arrested last March and charged with attempting to extort the shoe brand over illegally funneled payments to college basketball players. Yeah, so he used to represent porn star Stormy Daniels. That failed in a 2018 suit against Donald Trump. And of course he was arrested last March for in charge with attempting to extort the shoe brand. In January, ahead of his trial, he was transferred from a California facility to the notorious 10 South, a jail deep inside the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Tribeca that Avenatti's Miami-based attorney Scott Serenick described to the Post as sheer dehumanization. So January, of course, ahead of his trial, he was transferred from a California facility to the notorious 10 South. So that's where he is now. And of course, Scott Rivenek described to the Post as a sheer dehumanization. In a January letter of protest, Serenick complained that the temperature of the 8x10 cell was in the mid-40s and that his client was forced to sleep with 3 blankets and not permitted to shave in the summer. The temperature reportedly becomes deliberately hot. Well, first of all, who cares if the cell is cold in the 40s? That's not cold at all. But this is what the Serenick complains, that the temperature of the 8x10 cell was in the mid-40s. That's not cold. And that his client was forced to sleep with 3 blankets and not permitted to shave in the summer. The temperature reportedly becomes deliberately hot. Well, Avenatti shouldn't be complaining about nothing at all, really. Avenatti should deal with what he has to deal with for the jail cell. Avenatti was transferred to 5 South, a general population facility, on Thursday after one of his defense lawyers, Dana Perry, wrote an appeal to MCC saying Avenatti had reached a breaking point. Well, Avenatti should have never been in trouble in the first place, but since he wanted to go there and complain about everything and extort money from people and get away with all the things that he has done, then he shouldn't have done the crime. If you can't do the crime, don't do the time. But in his case, he did the crime. Now he's got to do the time. Avenatti was in a cell where everything he does is watched. He showered in view of cameras. He couldn't control the lights, which reportedly never turn off. Serenick added of his client's old 10 South cell. There was no privacy. Of course there's no privacy in jail. Everybody knows everybody's business there. Avenatti had to shower in view of cameras, so they want to make sure he didn't hang himself or commit suicide or anything like that. Avenatti can't control the lights, which was reportedly never turned off. Of course, the lights are never turned off because all the guards have to keep an eye on them. Avenatti's not the only famous tenant who's been made miserable by the conditions at 10 South. In 2017, the same cell housed the Mexican drug cartel kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, whose lawyers called the conditions exclusively puntive. Well, okay, so Avenatti wasn't the only one. You got El Chapo. I don't know what this has to do with him, but El Chapo has no part of what happened to Avenatti. Of course, Avenatti was not the only famous tenant who been in that cell. So you got El Chapo, which I think El Chapo should have been staying out of this story. Michael Lambert, who heads up a law firm that represented El Chapo, told the Post that the conditions of 10 South, a special housing unit that is primarily designed to hold terrorists and others who would face threats from the general jail population or be a threat themselves, are nothing short of torture. So Michael Lambert, who was heads of a law firm that represented El Chapo, told the Post that the conditions of 10 South, a special housing unit that was primarily designed to hold terrorists and others who would face threats from the jail population and others, the general population, they might be a threat to themselves. The air conditioner blows dirty air and puts out weird noises that makes it difficult to sleep. One of El Chapo's lawyers, Merrill told the Post, there are no vending machines, no water bottles, no fresh air or sunlight. There are very small windows, but they have frosted glass, which blocks out the light. So the jail cell has frosted glass, and it blocks out the light. There's no vending machines for water, fresh air, or sunlight. So that's what that jail cell has. Nothing. In a letter sent to the prison while El Chapo was there, she complained that he could taste and see mold coming out of the faucet. So the faucet, you could see and taste the mold that was coming out of there. Often characterized as a SHU special housing unit, 10 South consists of 6 solitary confinement cells. According to Miro, each contains a sleeping pad on the floor, plus a toilet, a sink, and a shower. So that's all you get. It contains a sleeping pad on the floor, plus a toilet, a sink, and a shower. That's all you get. 1 hour per day, Monday through Friday, Avenatti was escorted to a room characterized as a solitary cage, a cramped dark space with a stationary bike, and a TV. No time was spent outdoors. The exercise room, said Serebnik, has a slat through which the windows blow. So Michael Avenatti, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, he was escorted to a room characterized as a solitary cage. He was cramped in a dark space with a stationary bike and a TV. He never spent any time outdoors. The exercise room, said Serebnik, has a slat through which the wind blows. So you only get very little air to blow through there. The prison is also said to be infested with vermin. I saw roaches, I saw rats, Miro said. I heard them scratching through the walls all the time. A former inmate of 10 South told Gothamist that the rodents are so big it seemed like they could only be in the sewers. So yeah, so the prison was infested with roaches, rats. This is what Miro said. Um, Miro said that I heard them scratching through the walls all the time. A former inmate of 10 South told Gothamist that the rodents are so big it seemed like they could only be in the sewer. Is Avenatti's new home in 5 South general population privileges include 92 hours out of the cell per week, during which prisoners have unlimited but monitored email access, cell phone privileges, television privileges, and library access. So with Avenatti being in a different jail cell, he's allowed out for 92 hours per week out of the cell, during which prisoners have unlimited but monitored email, cell phone, and television privileges along with library access. So that's all he gets. In April, Avenatti will be tried in the same courthouse for allegedly stealing $300,000 from Daniels. He will also later be tried in California on charges of ripping off clients, scamming bank loans, evading taxes, and lying during bankruptcy proceedings. At some point, he will be sent to a federal penitentiary. Yes, so coming in April, he will be tried on for allegedly stealing $300,000 from Daniels. He will also be tried in California on ripping off clients, scamming bank loans as well, evading taxes, and lying during bankruptcy proceedings. For now, he is glad to see 10 South in the rear view. The human mind can take only so much, said Serebnik. Yeah, so Avenatti was glad, for now, he is glad to see 10 South in the rear view. Serebnik also said the human mind can take only so much. So Avenatti had took so much before he did hit a breaking point. And of course, Avenatti is facing 42 years in prison for everything that he has done. Leave your comments below. I am out.